Sima, thank you. I don't know if I can ever do enough to warrant an introduction like that. I just want to tell you, there comes a point in your life where I think a lot of us realize, ultimately, what matters about you is not what you accomplish. It's how many people were you able to bring behind you? How many young people did you grow and nurture to accomplish great things? Sima is one of the people I'm proudest of. And I'll just tell you, I think as only those of you who are parents really know, I've got a 6.5-year-old and an 8-year-old. The role model for my daughter is Sima. This is what I want my daughter to turn into. So, I want to thank the co-conveners today, our dear friend Talat Hassan and Vinod Dam. You're extraordinary people. God bless you for making this happen. I'm proud to say this is the second time I've been to the ICC this week. We're coming again tomorrow. This is our place. I feel pretty at home here. But to be here, to salute, to help really launch the IAC is an extraordinary honor for me. Let me just tell you that you are the sagefire, the beginning of something I think is extraordinary. And don't take my word for it. Just this very week, the New York Times is writing about the power of the Indo-American community right here in Milpitas, featuring many of the people in this very room. The New York Times is talking about us. That is something to feel very proud about. And well, they should, because I know firsthand, having had the privilege to run for governor of the state of California, that the power and the influence of the Indo-American community is huge. I could not have enjoyed more support from the Indo-American community, and I am so incredibly grateful. And I just have to tell you this one story. I went up to a person, as you do when you run for governor, to all these people you go up to ask for their endorsement, the president of the Sierra Club nationally, for all the United States. And I said, Carl, I need your endorsement. I know the Sierra nationally can't step out. I need you to step out. And he said, Steve, I'll be there for you. And I said, you will? It's not easy to get out in front of your organization when you're president. He said, absolutely. He said, I had no choice. My wife's Indo-American. She said, all the Indo-Americans are for you. I have no choice. Sign me up. This is the power of, well, strong wives, but it's also the power of the Indo-American community. And I'll never forget that story. So here's what I want to share with you today. In every sector, Indo-Americans are leading the field. In medicine, 35,000 doctors in the state of California. Yet it's my friend, Dr. Anmal Mahal, who is president of the California Medical Association. Sitting right here, I'd like to hear a round of applause for Anmal. In law, thousands of lawyers, but Preeta Bansal, one of the real up-and-comers nationally, chair of the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, an internationally noted legal scholar and someone who I hope may be one of the next United States Supreme Court justices, an Indo-American to be proud of. In entertainment, someone who will be right here today, Cal Penn, is one of the most fast-rising stars in Hollywood, another Indo-American and someone you're going to hear a lot more of. And in technology, too many to even mention. Vinod Dam, Kanwal Raiki, I think I could mention almost every name here. Vinod Khosla, who's a dear friend of mine and probably the leading figure in clean technology throughout the world. But for all this accomplishment in the Indo-American community, you're underrepresented in one area, and only one area I know of, and that is politics. You do not have the voice at the table we need you to have, and that's what I want to focus on today. Despite all of the Indo-American leaders in these other fields, we need more, because someone is going to decide whether we continue this tragic policy to limit H-1B visas when we desperately need more technology talent. Someone is going to decide whether we continue to allow people to use the Patriot Act to pick out people and decide whether they look American enough. Someone is going to decide whether we allow the harassment of Indo-Americans continue at our airports. Someone is going to decide whether we continue to shortchange education for all of this nation's poor people and children, to invest in ill-thought-out wars that make all of us less safe. We need more Indo-Americans at the table. Will you stand up to help me make this happen? Now, I think it's time for a lot. Bobby Jindal, as you know, is in Conde to be a governor. He's been mentored for 25, who's run for a national leader, the first Indo-American on the Democratic National Committee, helping to bring this generation along. Stars, Satvir Chaudhary of Minnesota, Swati Dandekar, who I spoke with this morning, from Jay Goel from Ohio, Raj Goel from Kansas. But who is going to support these people to get to the next level? We have no Indo-Americans in the Senate. We have no Indo-Americans in the governor's seat, in state houses. We've got a whole generation of young people ready to take that next step, including my dear friend Ro Khanna, who will be the next congressman from the 13th Congressional District in California. But it's only going to happen if you commit yourselves to make it happen. And that's why I'm so proud to be here at the IAC today. Here are 4 concrete suggestions for you to help make this a reality. First, you need to sponsor congressional trips to India. There's not one member of Congress who has not been asked at least 10 times by AIPAC, the Jewish Committee, you must go to Israel. You need to do the same thing for India. When Congressman Honda and Lofgren are here today, ask them, will you take the lead to bring members of the congressional delegation to India? This is going to be an Indian century. Precious too few members of Congress know the first thing about India. It's our job to help educate them. Second, all the good wishes in the world won't elect people to public office. You need to raise money. And I know no one likes to get those calls and no one likes to write those checks. But you've succeeded in every area of life except getting Indo-Americans elected. So I plead with you, the next time that Kamil Hassan calls you, don't be bashful. Be bold. Your community and your community's children are depending on you. Third, we've got to do a better job of mentoring the up-and-comers. I cannot tell you how scary it is for someone like a Ro Khanna to be in their 20s or early 30s to be getting ready to run for office. Look around you. Look at all the mentoring that happened in the business community. Look at how much time and effort went into making many of you the business titans that everybody in technology looks up to. Simply put, you will not enjoy the same success unless we nurture that next generation and commit to them in the same way you committed to making so many of your businesses world-class successes. The fourth thing, I'd like to challenge you to create, right here, today, at the IAC, a national database of Indo-American supporters. It doesn't matter to me whether you have Democrats or Republicans. We're in this together. What matters to me is that you have a database. I have close to 1,000 Indo-Americans in my database alone. And friends, I'm Norwegian. You need a database of hundreds of thousands of people. So when people like Ro Khanna and others step up to take that leap, to make the sacrifices they have to make for their family, you will not stand up in ones and twos. You will stand up in thousands. That is how you will get the voice at the table that you've been denied so long.